Good evening, everyone. This is your evening news recap, your nightly news podcast on all the news that I come across throughout the day, giving you my take as somebody who aspires to be a politician in the near future. Hopefully, all you guys are doing wonderful. Hopefully, all you guys are well. Today is December 14th, and it is Sunday. Hopefully, all you guys had a wonderful weekend so far, as the week is here. And hopefully, all of you got all the rest and relaxation you need throughout the weekend. I've had a pretty solid weekend so far. But before we get into the news from today, I just want to say I will be getting my wisdom teeth pulled on Tuesday. So there will not be an episode on Tuesday, and it is possible that there won't be one the day after, depending on how my recovery goes. I will keep you guys as updated as usual. But with that being said, got my nose pierced today. That's pretty cool. And that's all about for me. If you're new here, though, please consider subscribing. All the support would be greatly appreciated as we are trying to reach 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. By the summer, we're getting so close to 600. So subscribe. I would really appreciate it. It would mean the world to me. I really enjoy doing YouTube, and all the support is greatly appreciated. The growing makes me want to keep going. So, keep growing, keep subscribing. All the support is greatly appreciated. And if you're on Substack, please consider subscribing as well. It's $8 a month, and all funds go to me. It helps me pay for the things that I need to pay for in my life, like my groceries, like my clothing, like my bills, all those kinds of things. This is a viewer-supported channel. So all the support is truly, truly appreciated. I also got a Venmo, Bray 52, and it's also on like my TikTok and a bunch of other things if you need to find it. All the donations are truly, truly appreciated. But with that being said, let's get into the news from today. Moving on into the Trump administration segment, as we do, Trump is saying that sign language services are in his way. The Trump administration is arguing to end requirements for real-time sign language interpretations because they severely intrude on the president's prerogative to control his image and how he presents it to the public. They, of course, are already not providing these services and refusing to host them at events, but they're also arguing that statements are already available online with transcripts, so if people are deaf need them, they can look at them online. They also say that it's hard to find these services when Trump spontaneously takes questions, but it's something that presidents have dealt with previously, and I'm sure that Trump can also deal with that himself. Essentially, the president here doesn't want to be accessible for a portion of the population. Uh, you know, Not very America first, if you ask me, because if you wanted to be America first, you would make yourself accessible to all forms of the population within the United States. In fact, making yourself less accessible almost seems unpresidential. Pretty commonplace for Trump and his administration. Not to mention, he wants to do this for his own image. I mean, if you somehow need more proof that Trump is a terrible person, here it is. He would rather protect his own image and make himself look better on stage than make himself accessible for Americans with a disability. I mean, there's a lot of red states out there with high deaf populations, like Alaska, which is one that sticks out to me. Alaska has a pretty high deaf population, and it is a very red state. I mean, it voted for Trump in all three elections. So what are we doing? You'd think you'd want to make yourself more accessible, especially when you have high populations of these people living in states that support you. Anyways, moving on into our other news segment where we have an actual bulk of the news today. The first topic we have is we have an update on the Brown University shooting that took place yesterday. Of course, this shooting was taking place during the process of me reading, writing, and recording for the evening news recap. So we didn't have a full update, and now we have that here. So here's what we officially know. 2 people were unfortunately killed, 9 were wounded. The shooting took place at an engineering and physics building on the campus in Providence, Rhode Island. An investigation is actively ongoing, but the person of interest has been detained and identified as Benjamin Erickson, who's 25 and maybe a university student. I believe I saw a post about that, but I didn't see any articles confirming that, so I didn't know if it was 100% or not. And according to local police, he could face charges within the next coming hours. This is a horrific event, and my full condolences go to the families of those who passed or were harmed. As always, shootings take place far too often in this country, especially in schools, and something needs to be done to change that, whether it's more gun restrictions, whatever it is. Something needs to be done to protect students in schools. I mean, it's final season right now. Final season, the most stressful part of really most college students' years. And that should be the students' biggest worry, not a school shooting. And unfortunately, that has to take place across this country. And it's absolutely disgusting. I ate some salt and vinegar chips before recording this episode, and I ran out of water. And I'm very regretting that right now because I don't have any water to drink. But we'll make it through. I'm a big fan of salt and vinegar chips. They are very good. I think there's a bag in the background. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. But, you know. Anyways, moving on into our next topic for tonight, we have some more horrible news as a terrorist attack has taken place in Australia. A horrific terrorist attack has taken place in Australia, leaving 11 dead and 29 in the hospital. This is the deadliest attack in Australia since the Port Arthur attack in 1996. The attack took place in New South Wales at Bondi Beach at an event at the start of Hanukkah, or marking the start of Hanukkah, where around 1,000 people were in attendance. One gunman was killed and the second is in critical condition, according to local police. And a person who was attending the event, I believe it was a rabbi, was even seen picturing stopping one of the active shooters, which was kind of crazy. This is horrific news, and my full condolences go to anyone who has been impacted by this. Events like this are super rare in Australia due to their gun laws and restrictions, yet sadly, things like this still happen across the world. With the rise of anti-Semitism around the world, I'm sure that this unfortunately did play a role in that. I mean, this was a targeting on an event for the start of Hanukkah. Um, Happy Hanukkah to all the Jewish viewers, by the way. Um, I know that's probably terrible context to say that. I apologize for that. I just realized that. But, um, you know, happy Hanukkah for those people who are Jewish. But, the rise of anti-Semitism around the worldwide is absolutely disgusting, and using that as justification for a shooting is horrific, especially on the start of the Jewish holiday. Targeting anyone based on their religion is absolutely sick. And to blame people for the actions of a country that they are most likely not connected to is also absolutely horrific. I've said this multiple times. I don't stand for Zionism. I believe Zionism is a horrible thing. But a lot of Jewish people are in direct opposition to Zionism because Judaism opposes Zionism, from what I have heard from Jewish people. So correct me if I'm wrong on that. But as a whole, Zionism is horrible. And using anti-Semitism as justification to attack Jewish people who don't deserve it is also absolutely disgusting. In other news, a shooting has taken place at a child's birthday party in New York City. The shooting has taken place at a teenager's birthday party in New York. The attack occurred at around 1 a.m. at Burbuha Events in Brooklyn. The victims include two 15-year-old girls and a boy, two 16-year-old boys, and a 17-year-old boy. One of the girls was shot in the chest, hip, and leg, and the victims are now located at local hospitals, but thankfully are in stable condition. Police are currently looking for two male suspects, and any information is appreciated. This is absolutely horrific news, and I really hope all of these people are able to recover. This is the second birthday party shooting that has taken place in recent weeks, the last one being in Stockton, California, around where I grew up. And it is absolutely horrible that this has happened and has taken place. Shooting up a child's birthday party is insane, and the fact that we have stooped that low as a country is also insane. It's something needs to be done to solve that because we should not be shooting up a birthday party. I mean, come on, guys, what the hell are we doing? The fact that we are in the year of 2025 and we got issues like that is crazy to me on so many levels. But yeah. Anyways, moving on into our next topic for tonight. Ukraine has abandoned the ideas of joining NATO. Ukraine has given up on its ambitions of joining NATO in exchange for security guarantees as a compromise to end the war with Russia. According to President Volodymyr Zelensky, this is a huge shift as Ukraine has pushed a lot to join NATO for its safety against Russia, especially, and even has it included in their constitution, of course. Zelensky told reporters in a WhatsApp chat from the very beginning, Ukraine's desire was to join NATO. These are real security guarantees. Some partners of the US and Europe did not support this action. Thus, today, bilateral security guarantees between Ukraine and the US, Article 5-like guarantees from the US, and security guarantees from other European colleagues, as well as other countries, Canada and Japan, are an opportunity to prevent another Russian invasion. This is really unfortunate news. Ukraine should have the opportunity to be in NATO, without a doubt. I mean, uh, I I don't like that Russia is blocking Ukraine from being in NATO. I know that is, one of the things needed to end this war, and I think that's really unfortunate. I think Ukraine should have the opportunity to join NATO for their success and for their defense. And I do think Ukraine could be like a very strong country outside of a conflict with Russia, and I think that would be a great ally for NATO to have. Um, but unfortunately, that won't be the case, which really does suck. Uh, I mean, I've been very upfront about my opinions on the Russian NATO conflict. I don't think Russia deserves anything out of this. I strongly believe that Russia has failed across the board within this conflict, and they don't deserve to get anything out of it. But unfortunately, that does seem like it's going to be the case, which is undeserved. It really is undeserved, and hopefully it isn't. But there's just really no other world where that isn't going to unfortunately happen. Anyways, moving on into our final topic for tonight, Belarus has freed 123 prisoners after the United States lifted sanctions on the country. Belarus has freed 123 prisoners after the US agreed to lift sanctions on the country. Popular people who have been released include activist Maria Kolesnikovia, a Nobel Peace Prize winner, Ales Balatsky, as well, and the U.S. or that is the Nobel Peace Prize winner. Sorry, I probably phrased that horribly. My bad. Um, the U.S. has agreed to lift sanctions on potash, which is a key ingredient for fertilizer and one of Belarus' hugest or largest exports. Hugest is not a word. Trump's special envoy for Belarus, John Cole, said in a statement, "As in relations between the two countries normalize, more and more sanctions will be lifted." This is great for these prisoners, and hopefully it does help with trade between both sides. At the end of the day, Belarus is like a Russian puppet. That's just what it is. I mean, there's not really denying that. Russia has a lot of control and influence over Belarus, but that doesn't mean we can't trade with them. Belarus has things like this for fertilizer, which can be helpful to American farmers. These exchanges are common-ish, and hopefully those released are able to enjoy their lives freely and live their lives. With that being said, though, thank you everyone for watching today's episode. I hope you all enjoyed it. It's definitely been a very interesting day in the news world, that is all for sure. If you're new here, though, please consider subscribing. All the support would be truly, truly appreciated as we are trying to hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube by this summer. I believe we can do it. We are literally like 2 away from 600. Somebody unsubscribed. I know, it's very sad, but more people will come eventually. So if you're new here, please consider subscribing. All the support would be greatly appreciated as we try to reach that goal and hopefully try and reach a play button one day. That is my dream one day to have. So it would be really cool to maybe hit a 100,000 subscribers one day. If you're on Substack, though, please also consider subscribing. All the support would be greatly appreciated. As mentioned, it's $8 a month. All the funds help me. They really do. So I really appreciate all of that. But with that being said, thank you all so much for watching. I truly do appreciate all of you who continue to watch my episodes day after day. We're out here building a political platform, so if you're interested in supporting someone who believes in a country that actually wants to help its people, providing things like free higher education, free healthcare, and so much more, drop a subscribe because that's my goal when I make it into politics. With that being said, thank you all so much for watching today's episode. I truly, truly do appreciate it, and I will see you all tomorrow for the next one.